A tech whiz is born. Welcome to the world, Edward Snowden. The name probably rings a bell, doesn't it? He's the guy who sent shockwaves through the world by revealing some of America's biggest secrets. But before the headlines and the controversy, there was just a young Edward, born in June 1983. Growing up, it was clear that Snowden was a bright kid. He was a bit of a computer whiz, even teaching himself how to code. Who knew that this tech-savvy kid from North Carolina would one day shake the foundations of global surveillance? Snowden's path wasn't exactly typical. He didn't finish high school, which might surprise you, but he was clearly a fast learner, earning his GED and taking college courses. Little did anyone know this unconventional start would be a sign of things to come. His journey was just beginning, and it was about to get very interesting. From high school dropout to intelligence insider, an unlikely path. So how does a high school dropout end up working for the CIA, you ask? Well, Snowden's computer skills were his golden ticket. He landed a security job with a company contracted by the CIA. Talk about being in the right place at the right time. His talent didn't go unnoticed. Snowden was eventually offered a position at the CIA itself. It was a dream come true for someone fascinated by technology and its potential. He excelled in his role, quickly moving up the ranks and gaining access to increasingly sensitive information. His career then took him to the National Security Agency, the organization responsible for global surveillance. Here, Snowden found himself at the very heart of America's intelligence apparatus. He was privy to secrets that most people couldn't even fathom. But as he delved deeper, something didn't sit right with him. He was troubled by what he saw: the vast scope of data collection, the lack of oversight, and the potential for abuse. Little did anyone know, a storm was brewing inside Snowden's mind, a storm that would soon break. The NSA's secrets, a glimpse behind the curtain. Imagine having access to the world's most powerful surveillance tools. That was Snowden's reality at the NSA. He witnessed firsthand the agency's vast data collection programs. We're talking about programs that collected phone records, emails, and even internet browsing history of ordinary citizens, not just suspected terrorists. One program in particular caught his attention: PRISM. This program allowed the NSA to tap directly into the servers of major tech companies like Google, Facebook, and Microsoft. It was like having a master key to unlock the digital lives of millions of people around the world. Snowden was troubled. He believed these programs were a gross invasion of privacy, a violation of basic human rights. He saw the potential for abuse, for these powerful tools to be used against innocent people. He wrestled with his conscience, torn between his duty to his country and his belief in individual freedom. A difficult decision lay ahead, one that would change his life forever. The moment of truth, Snowden's crisis of conscience. The weight of what he knew became too heavy for Snowden to bear. He could no longer stay silent. He believed the public had the right to know what was being done in their name. He felt a moral obligation to act, even if it meant risking everything. In 2013, he made a life-altering decision. He decided to leak classified documents to journalists, exposing the NSA's surveillance programs to the world. He knew the risks. He knew he could face espionage charges, a lengthy prison sentence, or worse, but he felt it was a risk worth taking. He meticulously copied thousands of classified documents onto a small storage device, a digital treasure trove of secrets. He knew he had to tread carefully, leaving no trace of his actions. His heart pounded with each keystroke, the weight of his decision pressing down on him. He was about to become the world's most famous whistleblower, a title that would both haunt and define him. Escape to Hong Kong, a daring flight with secrets in tow. With a treasure trove of secrets in his possession, Snowden knew he had to disappear. He took a leave of absence from his job at the NSA, citing health reasons. His colleagues had no idea that he was about to become the most wanted man in the world. His destination, Hong Kong, a bustling metropolis known for its relative freedom and its distance from the long arm of the US government. He boarded a plane, his nerves on edge, the weight of the secrets he carried heavy in his backpack. In Hong Kong, he met with journalists from The Guardian and The Washington Post, sharing the classified documents he had risked everything to obtain. He wanted the world to know the truth about the NSA's activities. He knew this was just the beginning. The storm he had unleashed was about to break, and he was at its epicenter. Life as a whistleblower, finding love and facing charges. Snowden's revelations sent shockwaves around the globe. Governments scrambled to defend their actions, while privacy advocates hailed him as a hero. He became a household name, his face plastered on newspapers and TV screens worldwide. But life on the run was far from glamorous. He was forced into hiding, moving from hotel to hotel, constantly looking over his shoulder. The U.S. government revoked his passport, making him an international fugitive. Despite the immense pressure, Snowden found love in the midst of chaos. He reconnected with his girlfriend, Lindsay Mills, who had joined him in Moscow. They later married, finding solace and support in each other as they navigated this extraordinary chapter of their lives. The U.S. government charged Snowden with espionage and theft of government property. He faced decades in prison if extradited back to the United States. His future remained uncertain, his fate hanging in the balance. Seeking asylum in Moscow, a new home, a new life. With the U.S. government hot on his trail, Snowden found himself in a precarious position. He was trapped in the transit zone of Moscow's Sheremetyevo airport, unable to enter Russia or travel elsewhere. After weeks of uncertainty, Russia granted him temporary asylum. It was a controversial decision, one that further strained relations between Russia and the United States. But for Snowden, it was a lifeline. Life in Russia was a far cry from the life he had known back home. He lived a relatively low-key existence, giving occasional interviews and participating in online forums on privacy and surveillance. He became a permanent resident of Russia in 2020, his future seemingly intertwined with that of his adopted country. Hero or traitor, the debate rages on. Edward Snowden's actions sparked a global debate. Was he a hero who bravely exposed government overreach or a traitor who betrayed his country? There are strong arguments on both sides. His supporters argue that he performed a vital public service by revealing the extent of government surveillance. They believe he sparked a much-needed conversation about privacy in the digital age. They see him as a whistleblower who risked his freedom to defend our rights. His critics argue that he jeopardized national security by leaking classified information. They believe he should have raised his concerns through proper channels, not by betraying his country. They see him as a traitor who deserves to be punished for his actions. Snowden's legacy, a more transparent world. Love him or hate him, there's no denying that Edward Snowden changed the world. His revelations sparked a global debate about privacy and security. They forced governments to be more transparent about their surveillance activities. His actions led to some reforms. The U.S. Congress passed the USA Freedom Act, which limited the NSA's bulk collection of phone records. Tech companies strengthened their encryption practices, making it more difficult for governments to access user data. Snowden's legacy is complex and multifaceted. He remains a controversial figure, hailed as a hero by some, condemned as a traitor by others. But one thing is certain. He shone a light on the shadowy world of government surveillance, forcing us to confront uncomfortable truths about the balance between security and freedom in the digital age. What do you think? Edward Snowden's story is a reminder that even in the digital age where information flows freely, secrets can still be kept. It's a story about the power of one individual to challenge the status quo, to spark a global conversation, and to force us to confront uncomfortable truths about the world we live in. So what do you think? Was Edward Snowden a hero or a traitor? Was he justified in leaking classified information, or did he betray his country? It's a complex issue with no easy answers. Stay connected. We'd love to hear your thoughts on Edward Snowden and the legacy he's left behind. Share your comments below and let's keep the conversation going. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking content.